Hi, I'm Molly.
And I'm Jaymie, and this is our From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast. As the owners of Hired Hand website software, we've been developing websites and creating internet marketing strategies for livestock breeders for the past 10 years.
The majority of our customers are involved in the breeding of registered animals, such as Texas Longhorns, Highland cattle, horses, and white-tailed deer, where the pedigrees are very important. The From the Pasture with Hired Hand podcast examines many of the differences in raising pedigreed livestock for maximum profit. Join us and learn what we're covering today.
On today's sale recap, we'll be going over the results of last weekend's Oregon Trail Sale and Best of the West Futurity, which occurred June 22nd in Dundee, Oregon.
There were 60 lots total listed for the sale, with an unofficial total of $227,650, while the unofficial average was $3,993, and the internet-only average was $2,276.
With this being the 12th sale of the year to be included in our Hired Hand Live Trends and Averages series, it takes the 2024 annual average to date to $6,024.57, and it takes the internet-only average to date to $3,988.15.
There were over 10,000 total views of consignments online, and there were 67 registered online bidders.
The most viewed lot by the end of the sale was lot number 34, LLL Pretty Lady, consigned by Diamond B Cattle. She was also the third most viewed animal before the sale with 324 views. At the end of the sale, she had 515 views. So should we go over the top 5 in-person sellers and buyers?
Yep, let's go for it.
Why don't you go ahead and kick us off with number 5?
So the fifth highest selling overall lot was Lot 1, DB Diamondback, who was consigned by Diamond B Cattle and sold for $7,000 to Ann Gravitt.
The fourth highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was lot number 23, DB Mermaid's Daisy, consigned by Diamond B Cattle, and she sold for $7,500 to Bob Larson.
The third highest selling lot was Lot 13, BH Purdy, consigned by Diamond B Cattle, who sold for $17,500 to Scott and Amelia Picker.
The second highest selling lot to an in-person buyer was lot number 59, which was 5 straws of 50/50 BCB semen, consigned by McIntyre Farms, and that sold for $18,000 to Diamond B Longhorns.
The number one highest selling lot overall in person was Lot 34, LLL Pretty Lady, consigned by Diamond B Cattle, who sold for $40,000 to Scott and Amelia Picker.
Now let's recap the top 5 sellers and online buyers. I'll go ahead and take the fifth highest. That was lot number 16, SLL Tough Hearted, consigned by Stiller Land and Longhorns, and she sold for $3,750 online to Mike and Kat Lucas.
Coming in at number 4 is Lot 44, DH Pride and Joy, consigned by Rockin' H Longhorns, who sold for $3,800 to Steve Sanders.
The third highest selling lot on Hired Hand Live was lot number 43, JH Monica's Safari, consigned by M7 Longhorns, selling for $4,000 to Aaron and Micah Landis.
The second highest selling lot was Lot 36, CR Pistol Lady, consigned by CR Longhorns. She sold for $4,000 to Vincent Rapp.
The highest selling lot online over Hired Hand Live was lot number 30, RNL Queen Bee, consigned by ANS Land and Cattle, and she sold for $7,500 to Jason Hardy. We'd like to thank all of our online bidders and buyers.
So here's a few more internet influence stats from the weekend.
The value added through internet bidding was $43,250. There were 203 online bids and 19 lots sold online to 13 different online buyers.
So now let's jump in and we'll give some results from the Futurity. So let's start with the heifers. We'll announce each of the class winners. Molly, do you want to take class 1?
Sure. The class 1 winner was RC Rare Jewel, entered by RC Larson Longhorns, and she ended with 227.5 points.
The Class 2 winner was ANS Midas Morning Glory, entered by ANS Land and Cattle, and she had 226 points.
The Class 3 winner was SLL Showgirl, entered by Siller Land and Longhorns, and she had 229.75 points.
The Class 4 winner was SL Misbehaven, entered by Siller Barker Partnership, and she finished with 230.5 points.
The Class 5 winner was HL Over a Barrel, entered by Siller Land and Longhorns, and she had 233 points.
Class 6 winner is Don't Stop Miss Tough, entered by McIntyre Farms, and she finished with 233.25 points.
And the Class 7 winner was CR Mermaid, entered by CR Longhorns, and she won that class with 230.5 points.
Now let's go over the bull classes.
So it looks like there were 3 classes for the bulls, Class 8, 9, and 10. The Class 8 winner was DS Horizon Double 50, entered by Horizon View Longhorns, and he accrued 226 points.
The Class 9 winners for bulls was MWR 00 Buckshot, entered by BC Mellow Arena and Longhorns. He finished with 230.5 points.
And the Class 10 winner for bulls was SLL Swag and Wagon, entered by Siller Land and Longhorns, and he received 231.5 points. At the time that we recorded this podcast, the NLFR overall top 5 heifers and top 5 bulls were not updated yet. So we encourage you to visit the Huntington Sales website to view that information once it's updated.
Molly, we got a few responses from our text message that we sent out asking what they thought of the weekend in Oregon. Should we go over those?
Yeah, so overall, all of the feedback we received was great. One of the texts read, "The sale was great. If I felt it was run very well."
Another response we got back was excellent. Fun event.
The next sales that we're going to recap on our recap podcasts are in July, so we'll have a little bit of a break here. The next one is July 13th in Amarillo, Texas, and that's the Metcalf Dispersal Sale, followed by an event on July 27th in Gresham, Wisconsin, and that's the GNTLA Great Northern Longhorn Classic. So we hope that you'll join us back in July for both of those recaps.